on the Texas A&M Sports Network. From Learfield, live from Ludy's Country Store and Barbecue on Harvey Road in College Station. Welcome to the Aggie Basketball Hour with Buzz Williams. Presented by Coors Light. Choose chill and gig 'em Aggies. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly. Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Visit rudys.com to find real Texas barbecue near you. And by Twisted Tea, hard iced tea for the 12th man. Please drink responsibly. Now, here is the voice of Texas A&M basketball, Andrew Monaco.
Well, that just might be my favorite part of the show. Howdy, Aggs. I am Andrew Monaco. We thank you so much for joining us here at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road, College Station, for another edition of the Aggie Basketball Hour with Buzz Williams. And for the next 60 minutes, we talk Aggie basketball. We do that with Buzz as we preview what's to come for the Aggies. Next Monday, they tip off their season in Orlando against UCF. And then their first home game is on November 8th. It's a Friday evening, 7 o'clock against Texas A&M Commerce. We'll also take a broader picture of how this non-conference schedule came together. And last week, I think one of the special days for men's basketball, CEO Day. Those are just a couple of topics that we will ask Buzz Williams. We're so glad you're with us here at Rudy's, all along the Texas A&M Sports Network, on the 12th Man mobile app, on Learfield's Varsity Network app. And if you're joining us on the Texas A&M Basketball Facebook page, that's Learfield's Behind the Mic. Check in, ask a question. We'll pass along to Buzz Williams. But to get things started, we meet and talk with Landry Moffett. Landry's next. The Aggie Basketball Hour with Buzz Williams rolls on from Rudy's. This is Aggie Basketball from Learfield. Aggies Can is celebrating over 2 decades of giving back to our local community. Bring your non-perishable food donations to Aggie Home Events, November 15th through the 17th. Electronic donations are accepted now through November 30th. Special thanks to Brookshire Brothers, HEB, and KBTX for partnering with our Student Athlete Advisory Committee in support of the Brazos Valley Food Bank and the 12th Can. Text Aggies Can to 83200 or visit 12thman.com/Aggies Can to learn more. This is Aggie Basketball Hour with Buzz Williams. Off the top, because I missed it last week, Lacey Williams is the producer of our show with Noah Doolittle. That's in our Learfield studios. The A-team is here. Jeanette Menchow is here. Kevin will be here. Tomorrow, I guess, for Coach G's show, and Wednesday for Mike Elko's show, and Kevin has officially, I think, ordered everything off the menu here at Rudy's. So glad you are with us. Aggie Basketball Hour with Buzz Williams. Last week, if you remember, at the end of the show, Buzz said that Landry was going to be here. Well, everyone, here's Landry. Landry Moffett is with us. Howdy, my friend.
Hi, thanks for having me. Well, I guess thanks for telling me, Coach, but here we are.
That's right. Buzz texted and said, Landry, you've got this segment, and Landry is here. My friend, you have been around this program for a while, have you not? Talk about, if you would, start off with what your role, what the title is, and what your role is with Aggie men's basketball.
So I'm our administrative coordinator. So basically, I help Coach with all of his things. We used to always say Landry's in charge of Coach's time, and now Grant's in charge of team time. So that's how we divide it out. But basically, just help with anything non-basketball. None of the plays or anything. I don't do any of that, you know. But just helping with everything we have going on outside of that, our events, from our tip-off dinner to Buzz's Bunch to just everything that falls on the non-basketball side of stuff.
There's so many neat things that this team does, and I'm not going to get to all of them, but one that always jumps out at me, and I'll ask Buzz later in this hour. I love CEO Day that we just had last Wednesday, and first of all, the suits that they have are incredible. I love that. They all look great in those. I love to see who chooses what.
Exactly. Yeah, you saw Jay Lee's last week. Yes, yeah. Very interesting. But yeah. It always just shows their personality. Yeah. And it's cool that they get the opportunity to have their own suit. And it's always my favorite to see them on CEO Day. And then they're just beaming with light because they got to pick out exactly what they get to wear, and they get to do a cool photo shoot about it. It's amazing.
And then Buzz always takes a photo with the student athlete. which I think is just as special. I really do.
For the birthday posts.
Yes,
too.
absolutely. Yeah. So, Buzz's Bunch as well, which is an outstanding thing before the season. And then, Landry, it's not just before the season that we all get together and have that weekend. They're basically invited anytime, and I know there's special games throughout, but anytime. That connection as well says an awful lot about Coach, doesn't it?
Yes, sir. Buzz's Bunch is one of the favorite things I get to do, because I've gotten to connect with all those kids and their families. Like, I'll get texts from moms just randomly, like, oh, look what Elena did on this event. And, like, so she's the girl that sang the national anthem at that Buzz's Bunch game last year.
Yeah.
It's just really cool to build those connections and see the kids get to have fun with us, but then also continuing those relationships.
Don't you feel like it just means more? Like, you may have never been in that situation. You've never been paired with a buddy or a bunch of buddies, and I love to see that relationship throughout a student athlete's career. But sometimes you realize it really is bigger than just me, right? And you kind of see that kick in, don't you?
Yes, and I love to see when our players get to interact with them, because it's like our players are, they are getting a lot of the best things possible. And then when you have these kids come around, it lets them come to reality for a little bit and see that they could have had it worse,
How good of a present wrapper are you now?
Oh, the best. Yes. Our Christmas party is quite the deal. Yeah, last year I think we wrapped over like 370 presents.
Really? Mm-hmm. Wow. Incredible.
But I'm all about the aesthetic. As long as it looks good under the Christmas tree, I'm good.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you handle, because it's more than just basketball for Buzz when I say that, the calendar for him? And when did it hit you that he is probably one of the busiest people that you and I will ever be around?
So over the 6 years I've been here, we've actually transitioned the calendar from being on Word document to Excel, which has really helped with the organization of that. But it is crazy. Sometimes I have to make the font like size 5 because we're fitting so many things in his day. But it's very impressive to see him balance all of the things that he's trying to put on his plate.
I probably should not have buried this lead because, as you said, for 6 years, you started as a student and then you were hired, correct?
Yes. So, well, for my first day, I walked in, and for some reason, he was walking towards me, and Bailey, who had the job before me, she was like, "This is Coach Williams." And I said, "Hi, Coach, I'm Landry Moffett." And he stops me and he goes, "Wait, are you named after Tom Landry?" And I said, "Yes, sir. That's my dad's favorite football coach." And I think from there, that really set the precedent for the future. If he weren't a basketball coach, I'm convinced he'd find his way on some football staff, right? I agree with that. Yes, sir.
Has anyone ever asked you that before?
Yes.
Oh, they did?
Many times, actually.
Now, I know we're in Texas. I get it, and I get it's cowboy country as well. But that's interesting, and I never knew that about you.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
How cool. Yeah, awesome. Thank you for doing this, by the way. Nothing to be nervous about. I thought you sounded great.
Oh, thank you.
You were saying before, she said, "I don't like the sound of my voice, this and that." And I said, "Look, I love me some me, so I can always hear myself talk." You have that. But thank you for doing this. And let's do it again sometime, shall we?
Yeah, please. I had fun.
Look forward to it. Landry Moffett, everyone. We will continue the Aggie Basketball Hour with Buzz Williams. We return to Rudy's. This is Aggie Basketball from Learfield. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance wants to give you a VIP Aggie basketball fan experience this year. Go to 12thman.com/maroon contest. That's where you register. One winner and a guest will receive game tickets, a Buzz Williams autographed basketball, and will be recognized on the video board during the game. Register today at 12thman.com/maroon contest. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, proud partner of Texas A&M Athletics. This is the Aggie Basketball Hour with Buzz Williams. Just a little programming note. We won't be with you next Monday here because we're going to be in Orlando at UCF as the season tips off next Monday. And then the home opener will be Friday, November 8th, 7 o'clock. Sitting down next to me is Buzz as he joins us on the Aggie Basketball Hour with Landry Moffett. She was outstanding, wasn't she?
Yeah, I knew she would be. I was over here in the corner so she couldn't see me. I didn't want to add to her anxiousness.
She was nervous.
It was her premiere.
It was her premiere, and she did just great. I'm glad you did that for her.
It was good. We need to do that every week.
We do, Buzz. So everyone knows that we talk about taking a village, right? That's what it takes.
Yeah. So we did Beatty.
Yeah. Yep.
And Landry. So Yeah, we'll do TJ next week.
Okay. Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah.
We'll do TJ. We'll try to go in orders of years of service.
Does that mean, can I do the whole hour with Coach Orr then?
Yeah, he was with us this weekend.
Was he?
Yeah, so that would have been 9. Yeah, Coach wins. So that would be 90 to 24, so 34 years.
34 years for him. Yeah. It's funny. I know you talk about the experience on this staff. And, Buzz, that trust is so important, is it not? I mean, you were the guy that was trusted by other head coaches, and you've always kept that. That's important for your staff, isn't it?
Well, I just think it's probably important for me. I'm not really good around people I don't know. You know that. You've lived through that. I'm a lot more comfortable around you in year 6 than I was in year 1.
Right.
I'm not very good at hello. I'm not very good at goodbye. And it just takes me time to build trust. And a lot of that is just interaction, whether it's brief, whether it's abrupt. And I think when you're doing this all day, every day, I want to be around people I trust.
Yeah.
I want to be around people I respect. I want to be around people that I care about. And selfishly, I want them to feel the same about me and my family. It's just become a very volatile business, more volatile with each passing year. And I think that doesn't mean you can't trust somebody you don't know. It doesn't mean that they're not skilled. It doesn't mean that they're not talented. But when there's not a foundation of care, a foundation of trust, a foundation of love, it probably leads to potential problems.
Yeah.
And there's enough problems that come with it. And so I want to be around people that I know.
When Antonio Cromartie was here as one of the assistant coaches for football, he tweeted a line that I loved. He goes, if it's not a relationship, it's just a transaction. And there's a huge disparity between those two things, isn't there?
Well, so much of this has become very transactional.
Yeah.
Some of that is the model. Some of that is the setup. And transactions are much easier than transformation. And transformation, in my opinion, that means time is involved. Mm-hmm. And anytime there's time, if there is a transformation, it's correlated with the relationship. The transaction is buying the sandwich up here at Rudy's. That's a transaction. There's a cost. Here's the payment. Here's your sandwich. And so I think when you're dealing with people and their lives and their hearts and who they are and their families, we want to be as transformational as possible.
I want to ask you about CEO Day in our next segment, but meeting the new players, Zurich Phelps.
I think our volleyball team won at Texas that day.
Yes.
Yeah,
we were watching it here with Mike. That was going on, and we all rushed home and watched the finale of that. Yep.
I didn't get home until the very end, and Corey was watching it. And I haven't watched many volleyball games in my life other than the ones my daughters have played. And I was into it. This is good.
It's phenomenal, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was great. It was just as good as the win on Saturday. I wasn't here for that because we were gone.
Yeah.
But we had a watch party in the conference room.
Your team room? Yeah.
Yeah. We had a couple of noise complaints in the conference room.
Buzz, it was electric. That's the only word I can come up with. Maybe more than that.
Our guys, we had the sliders and chips and bagged queso and all the stuff up on the buffet. They were having fun.
It reminded me, Buzz, of week 1 against Notre Dame, and I'm looking down to the tunnel because we all want to see, are they going to run out to power once again? And what's the uniform going to look like?
And that's a song?
Yeah. So.
And wasn't that something like they used to do it?
Used to do it, went back. Mike, it was the best kept secret by Mike.
I read something about that.
Yeah. So as they come out, so we're looking down at the tunnel and all of a sudden all you see is Solo and Anderson and Wade, and they're all there at the tunnel supporting.
Yeah. We were here for that was on August the 31st.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the last Saturday of the month. We were here for that one.
Yeah.
And everybody was in a good mood because we hadn't started our work until the day after Labor Day. So, yeah, I thought that was a good game too. I know it didn't have the result that we wanted, but obviously. Seems like they're a pretty good team, relative, as are we, relative to how it's all played itself out.
Absolutely. I will. When we come back, I want to ask you about CEO Day. It's one of my favorite things that you do with this team. That's when we return to the Aggie Basketball Hour with Buzz Williams. Stay with us. It's Aggie Basketball from Learfield. Head on over to your local Rudy's or Rudy's.com to place an order for their real Texas barbecue. Enjoy 100% oak smoked meats, delicious sides, and Rudy's signature sauce. And don't forget, Rudy's serves made-to-order and grab-and-go breakfast tacos every day until 10 a.m. This is the Aggie Basketball Hour with Buzz Williams. We continue an opportunity to hear from one of the new players on this team, and I'm going to refer to the transfers here. As Pharrell Payne comes from Minnesota. Zurich Phelps, if you remember, played against us when we went to SMU, and President Bush was there on the sidelines in that Aggie win up there in Dallas. And C.J. Wilcher is another one of those transfers. Played against the Aggies in the NCAA tournament when he was a member of Nebraska. And right now, let's meet C.J. Wilcher. Along with C.J. Wilcher. First of all, welcome, and how's the howdy?
The howdy's pretty solid. It's pretty solid. I got a little work to do, but.
How's it been? How's the adjustment been? And if you don't mind, why Texas A&M for you?
I think, for me, really caught my eyes the care for, like, things outside of basketball as well. I feel like the coaches do a great job, and it's just our program in general, do a great job at trying to pour into young men as well as basketball players. And I just think where I'm at in my life, especially in terms of my faith and my relationship with God, and just about about my last year of college, just going into the real world, I think there's a lot of – because, I mean, honestly, if I'm going into the real world, I think it's a lot more of about habits and taking things serious and recognizing the importance of reps and just things like that. Like, I think this is just a perfect place for me as a person. And then obviously as a basketball player, I think it fits me well too. So
I was talking to Pharrell about this. Relationships matter still in college athletics, don't they?
100%. 100%. I think that's a fleeting thing. Obviously due to the environment of college athletics right now with NIL spaces becoming more business-like contractually and stuff like that. But relationships matter, man. I think it's really important, especially for players that are coming from all over the country, to feel cared for as a person. Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, whether shots go down and or not, a lot of us find value in that and or get treated as our value is in how many shots we can make or how many rebounds we can grab. And when you're far from home, man, that's hard to, like, really have some sense of care from somebody outside of yourself, you know?
So as a New Jersey kid, when did you learn it? Did you learn that at Nebraska? Have you learned it throughout your career?
I think I just learned it throughout my career. Not saying anything with my coaches. I feel like the coaches I've had prior were relationship guys as well. I have good relationships with them as well. But I also know guys that didn't necessarily have the same experience as I had. And there's a sense of care for me to pay attention to those things, you know what I'm saying? So that was a big part of why I came here, just the relationship, family-oriented type program it is here.
So obviously you're going to get to know, and you know a little bit about 12th Man, but also being at Nebraska, right? And Big Red, two very loyal fan bases, are they not?
Yep. Very similar. In a lot of ways, too. From just the community environments, like, you know what I'm saying, how people look at the athletes at the university, but as well as the support, man. Very similar in terms of, like, show up, people who come to games, pack out arenas. So there's a lot of similarities, you know.
Same AD as well, Trev Alberts.
Yeah, right. Coincidentally, right? Yeah. Same AD.
Absolutely great to have you here. Wishing you all the best this season.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
The 12th Man Foundation is the official fundraising organization and ticket provider for Texas A&M Athletics. You can support a 75-year legacy and help shape the future of Aggie athletics by donating today at 12thmanfoundation.com. Continuing with Aggie Basketball Hour with Buzz Williams and peeking ahead. Wednesday, our next Aggie Football Hour with Mike Elko, presented by Capital Farm Credits. A reminder that the first Aggie Basketball Hour with Joni Taylor will come your way on November 11th. That's when she will begin her shows, and they will be from 6 to 7, and there will be about 6 shows where Joni will be first and Buzz will be next, and we'll have 2 hours to talk Aggie basketball. Just those reminders for you. With Buzz Williams and talking with C.J. Wilchard, Buzz in Omaha with baseball, and they had known that he was going from Nebraska to Texas A&M. And I ran into more than a few Husker fans that said he is one quality young man. You're going to really enjoy him. We're sorry he's not here. I think that says an awful lot as well about someone that you bring on when people you don't know that he's going to Texas A&M and wishing him all the best.
Yeah, unbelievable human being. I don't coach him at all. He coaches me. Maybe as mature of a spirit of a person that I've been around in a long, long time.
Wow.
Our plane broke at 10,000 feet in Omaha. We had to emergency land. Mm-hmm. I don't handle things not on my calendar very well. So I took an hour break, and Rock and Lau realized that CJ was in the portal living in Lincoln, and so we drove to Lincoln an hour later. Only happenstance, if you believe in those things, that it occurred. He knew every single thing about my entire life.
Wow.
Personally and professionally. I never called him, never texted him before that or after that. His dad is very important in the basketball scene on the East Coast. I should have known who his dad was. I had no idea who he was. And Rock said, you probably need to call him. And he, within 30 seconds, he was in tears and just said, this is anointed. And he said what he had to say. And I said, yes, sir. And he said, well, Coach, you don't have anything else to say? I said, not in addition to what you said. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do whatever you say. And he said, well, he's coming. I said, okay.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
I go on walks with CJ once a week or meet with him once a week. He texts me to, quote, get on my calendar. And the questions he asked me are someone that's more mature and has more wisdom than somebody my age. It's amazing. I hope he makes every shot, but if he doesn't, I've learned a lot from him. And he's been tremendous.
Pharrell Payne is another one that the circumstances worked out very well for you and this basketball team, didn't it?
Well, we were the first Power 5 school to offer him a scholarship. And then Minnesota was the second one, and he lives about 20 minutes from their campus. And he's young for his age. He obviously provides something we needed, as does CJ for that matter, as does Zoo for that matter. Mm-hmm. So I think the character piece, I call Pharrell Gochi. That's his middle name. Gochi, CJ, and Zoo all represent what we want to be about, mm-hmm. as do their families. They were all on board with how we do things, why we do things, some of the habits on and off the floor. And they also provide what our returning players needed to help support them. And so our staff did a phenomenal job in evaluating those guys in both of those components.
I joked with Zoo. I said, I am so much happier that you're going to be wearing maroon and we don't have to play against you.
He's never had a bad day. He has the best smile of anybody that I've coached. Like he's never had a bad day. And I told him about a month ago, I said, hey, man, I'm kind of upset with you. And I didn't use those words, but that was the meaning. And he said, why? I said, why didn't you call me and tell me this is who you were? Because it was during COVID, right?
Yeah.
And he had just moved from West Texas. And I knew his name.
Mm-hmm.
And, obviously he's had a great career prior to coming here. I don't mean that negatively, but, like, you talk about somebody that fits who we are and what we want to be about and how we want to compete and how we want to live off the floor and how we want to go about things on the floor. Like, and he's been here, 2 months.
Right.
And he was one of us from the first day he got here. And,
Buzz, I was talking to Mike Elko last week, and we were talking about guys who fit in the portal. So obviously you see the success that you have in football. He said, but the first question I ask anybody in the portal is why? Why are you in the portal? Why are you coming? Are you coming for NIL and guaranteed starting spot? Well, you're not coming here. Mm-hmm. There's another place for you. Again, you can play college football, not going to be here. I get it. Is that the same philosophy for you?
I don't know. I understand exactly what Coach is saying, and what is the ROI on guys that are in the portal versus the ROI on sign a freshman, and will they develop? Will they stay through the development, mm-hmm. or are they going to enter the portal? I think it's so early for me to make hard statements. Mm-hmm. We're not going to outbid anybody. So I do tell them, if your decision is financial, you don't need to come here. The problem that you have in the portal is it's just happening per hour.
Right.
In our sport. I don't exactly know the windows. I think there are two different windows in football. I know Lance is here. He helps with football. So I don't know if that's changed with the early period they have and all of those things, but they've changed the portal window length and timing every year since the portal existed. They're changing it again for us this year. I think maybe in 6 or 8 years, maybe there will be some system of this is how it works and these are the rules. I think we're probably several years away from that. I just try to abide by team rule number 1. Teach them team rule number 1. Say it in front of their mom. Say it in front of their dad. Say it in front of their mentors. This is how we operate. And if you want to keep talking, we can keep talking. And if you don't want to keep talking, that's okay too. Just abide by team rule number 1. Yeah. If you don't want to talk, that's okay. You're telling the truth.
Right, absolutely. More Aggie Basketball Hour with Buzz Williams. We return to Rudy. Stay with us. It's Aggie Basketball from Learfield. When you need a new roof or just to have a pesky leak, you want to call on the winning team at Schulte Roofing, home of the Bulletproof Roof Guarantee. Get the best. Visit SchulteRoofing.com. We continue. It's the Aggie Basketball Hour with Buzz Williams. We are at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. And I teased it a little bit earlier in this hour, but last week we did have the CEO Day. Lots of pictures, lots of smiles, lots of great-looking suits, that's for sure, on that day. Buzz, when did you start that, and how much have the players just absolutely bought in and just thrive on a day like that?
Yeah, they enjoy it. It's kind of morphed over the last, I guess we've done it 17 years in a row now. I take too much pride in the clothes that I wear. It's kind of my only hobby. And so I'm kind of funny about what I wear and the colors and et cetera, without spending too much time on myself. But when I was the head coach at Marquette, there was a men's clothing store that wanted to sponsor me. And I've never wanted to do any level of sponsorship. But I ended up getting all of my clothes that I wore to games there. And so it became a tradition that initially, if you were a senior, I would get you a suit, shirt, tie, belt, pair of shoes. Stereotypically, many times it's those young men, their first suit.
Right.
So they don't really know how to pick out a suit and what a swatch is. And so at Virginia Tech, instead of Get Better 101, we called it Tech Talks, as in Virginia Tech. And it was just an opportunity to teach them a life lesson. So we began expanding it where I would do a tech talk, and we would get a suit for everybody. So BD's been with us however long, 6. But, his first 2 suits were his first 2 years in college. Correct. And so now, he's looking at it from a different place. And so not every year have we done it. Most years here, we've done it every year as far as the suit. But normally there's a Get Better 101 associated with the back end being ordering their suits. Luke Hillen's mom has done them here the last 2 years. And, you can kind of see, like, Solo had on a really pretty suit on Wednesday, and it was the first time he got a vest.
Oh.
And, the silk on the back of a vest. He knows I wear vest in conference. And so, we take the team picture, and all of the coaches are wearing their suits. And then I go change while the players change, and I just put on a sport coat and a pair of slacks so that their outfit is more formal than mine. And then I take pictures with each one of them in their suits. So while we're taking the team picture and their pictures in their basketball uniform and my suit, Solo says, "Coach, you're not wearing a vest today." And I go, "No." He goes, "You're going to like mine. You remember I told you I was getting a vest?" I said, "I remember." He goes, "What are those fish things on the back of it?" And I go, "You got fish on your suit?" He goes, "No, like on the vest." I go, "Well, I didn't see it. I wasn't there when you picked it out." He was talking about the paisley.
Paisley on the back?
Yeah.
The pattern.
And so he looked really sharp.
Yeah.
Lavender shirt. He looked really nice. And so he comes out, and I go, "Those are called paisleys." So, yeah, okay, paisleys. And, they, because they're young, they do different things with their pants. Whether it would be bell bottoms, flares, shorter than you and I would do it, longer, more tapered, like whatever words you want to give. And they all have different versions of that. But the older they get, the more mature their choices become, right?
Yeah.
So Mo's gotten 4. And he looked nice. He had a double-breasted.
He went double. He had the 6-button.
Yeah, looked nice.
Yeah.
I said, "Mo, I like the double-breasted one. You didn't. That's your first one, right?" And so, they refer to their suits based on their year. "Coach, you remember the white one?" And I was like, "Yeah, that was year 3." And he goes, yeah, year 3. Because they know that's how I calculate the timing. And then, when we take the CEO pictures, then Josh makes a collage. And then that's the front wall on the hallway as you enter our office.
Yes.
And if you were to spell these words out, you were created to be more than a player. The C, the E, and the O are capitalized. That your identity can't just be in that as a player. And then that's the picture of them with each passing year.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you walk in, you participate in these, officer participates in these, the family staff pictures that we take the day before school starts.
Yeah.
So as soon as you walk in, family, the acronym is on the left. Forget about me, I love you. And it's all of the children, all of the wives, all of the coaches, all of the staff members. And then as soon as you turn the corner, it's the CEO pictures, not our team picture. It's the CEO of all of the kids when they do the model shots at different poses, and Craig changes up each pose, and then Josh kind of puts it all together. And then if you keep walking, you would see the team picture that has everybody in it in their uniform and suit. So fun day.
So for you, your memories aren't always just the uniform on the court, right? When you see that every day going into your office, and I would imagine, Buzz, that certain memories will be collected with the guys who are on the team this year. But as you go see the old ones, I'm sure there's many different memories that have nothing to do with a jump shot or taking a charge or anything because of the time you're with them.
Yeah, I don't. I know this sounds really strange, as number-centric as I am. I don't even know what numbers they wear.
Gotcha.
I know what number 4 wears.
Right.
And then I've only called 2 players by their number as a head coach. We had a point guard at Virginia Tech whose name was Justin Robinson, and he wore 5. So I just called him 5. And then when 4 got here, just called him 4. But I don't know what number Solo wears. I don't know what number Mo wears. I know that's kind of a unique statement. But, yeah, who they become and the relationships and the stories and the experiences far outweigh the result. And, even now, I took some of them to breakfast this morning, and, when they get to talking about games, their memory is tremendous. Coach, you remember and it's almost like listening to you call a game.
Gotcha.
They can go possession by possession. I'm like, yeah, keep going. And then once they get going, now I can join. But like just readily off the top of my head, hey, what happened in pick a game? I don't know.
Gotcha.
Now, if you get to talking about it, then I can recall it. But, as they get older and I get older, the kids whose eligibility is now out, you don't really talk about the scores. You talk about the experiences. There's some stories that come from those experiences / those games / those locker room environments. But, yeah, I think some of those numbers go away.
One final segment for this edition, the Aggie Basketball Hour with Buzz Williams. When we return, this is Aggie Basketball from Learfield. At Costa Vida Fresh Mexican Grill, we source high-quality ingredients and make our recipes from scratch every day. Starting with our fresh tortillas to our chips and queso, Baja Bowls, quesadillas, tacos, and more. Find us at CostaVita.com or in South College Station today. That's our friend Holly at Costa Vida. Final segments, couple of minutes left. Steve asks a question. I have plenty for the rest of this season as well. Let's see. What areas have the team improved the most with all the new guys? And I guess that's including the 3 we mentioned, and as well as some of the new guys that came in as freshmen for you.
Yeah, I think those 3 portal guys bring what we hope they bring what we lack the most. And then I hope that our returners are better at what we lack the most while not losing our identity. It's a new season. It's a new team. Those 3 portal guys provide something in differing ways than what was returning. And I hope that the combination of what's returning and the portal guys give us new dimensions on both sides of the floor. And I think that with the schedule that we're playing, even in the month of November, we're going to find out pretty fast. We're going to play, I would anticipate, just based on the numbers and the projections and et cetera. It doesn't always work out that way, but it appears as though we're going to play 8 quad 1 or quad 2 games over the next 7 weeks. So that's obviously a a very high number. So we're going to need all of our guys to be as good as they've ever been.
Easier to do that with a veteran-laden team?
Well, I think it's the only way you have a chance.
Yeah.
I don't think that you want to have that sort of schedule if you have 10 new guys.
Right.
And, some of the non-conference you can have a say in. And then the problem is scheduling is a year in advance at minimum, sometimes even more. But within how the model of recruiting has changed, when you're signing contracts on who you're going to play, you don't know who's going to be on your team.
Gotcha.
You don't know who you're going to sign, but you also don't know who's on your current team, whether they have eligibility or not, whether they're going to be back. The only guys you know that are not going to be on your team are the ones that have no eligibility left, which is why you're seeing so many coaches, like any coach in any sport. We want the most talented people that also happen to be the oldest.
Right.
And so when you get in that cycle of we're old, okay, well, we can't, when we lose all these old guys, we can't have a team full of young guys. And so it creates a cycle. And it'll be interesting, if you just think of it mathematically, for the last 3.5, 4 seasons now, everybody's gotten an extra year of eligibility. This is the last year of that in every sport. So, like, some of the level of play that you've seen, in my opinion, in college athletics with each passing year, incrementally it's improved. Partly it's improved because there's 23 and 24 and 25 and 26-year-old kids, men, women, competing. Well, that 5th year is now over at the end of each,
Gotcha.
Each season, whatever sport you're coaching. So from a population standpoint, the portal will be less, which means the competition will be more because so many programs, regardless of sport, have been in this cycle of portal players. Even us, the 3 we've got. Hey, we need them 3 to be good. Well, of those 3 that are going to be good, only one of them has eligibility next year. Doesn't mean he's going to be with us. We hope that he is, but that makes sense.
Absolutely. We'll talk about that more. Buzz, beat the hell out of UCF next Monday. Thanks so much. Always a pleasure being with you.
You think we could just do a radio show from there and count it as like pregame as
can we try
radio show 3?
Let's try it.
Is Coach Joni starting next week?
November 11th. They're playing at home next Monday. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, man.
It's Aggie Basketball from Learfield.